Hi all! So this is the first official video of my YouTube channel. Can you believe it? I have no idea what's going to happen here, but it's something I've wanted to do since I've started doing beauty therapy, which was over 6 years ago, and this is how long it's taken me to do it. Although I've done a couple of clips here and there, I still get people asking me, how do you do this? How do you do that? I want to do this. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so the number one thing that, actually, I'll just give you a bit of background information because this is number one, and that is I'm a beauty therapist, woman, mother, someone who loves getting ready every day, doing makeup. I love products. I love playing with new makeups and products and beauty things, and any of those who know me personally know that is 100%. So this is basically sharing with you what I love. Today I'm going to start it off with a easy smoky eye. Okay, just breathe. Okay, so I wanted to share with you the smoky eye that I do when I'm doing a smoky eye. And it's basically, I call it, it's like the universal eyes into the universe, space, anything related to space really, because this is what this technique reminds me of, because it is starting with space and the darkness and then layering with the depths, of the universe. So the way to start is you actually choose the darkest color on your palette first that you are drawn to. So for example, now this is realness. This is mum of a 20-month-old. Realness. This is actually a really good palette. Bobby Brown New Drama and 2, and good old Gabriel has got into this palette. Nearly died. Anyway, but instead of getting the big palettes that I've got, I just wanted to make it more, realistic for you guys, that these are the sort of things that you might have at home as well to work with. Usually, they're quite dark, but I'm more drawn to this color as opposed to this color. And this color tends to work with my eye color the most, but don't get caught up in that too much and wondering what works better, what doesn't. I'm not a professional. I don't know what looks good on me. Who cares? Like, just honestly go to the color that you get drawn to, because that's usually the color that is the right one for you anyway. And if it's not, but you love the color and you like how it looks on you, then that's all that matters too. So I'm going to start off with this dark shade on me. Now you want more of a flatter brush, and with a good palette you just pat it. Don't dig right into it, because that's how you get that. So you just pat it, and I literally just pat to start off with, because otherwise you get all the product. Now I'm wanting to see how my waterline, that going into the socket, you put it just below the socket. So you're just putting it on just below the socket, because you're wanting to blend it up. So instead of bringing it where you want it to go, do it underneath. So just bring it underneath to where you actually want it to go. Now, if you find that your color is dropping underneath here, a trick that you can do, oh good gracious, I didn't get any tissues, but just for an example, you would get your tissue, you can even a piece of paper like I'm doing, and you just put it underneath like that. So it's holding all the you know, the fallout. If you forget halfway through, you just get a big brush with no product on it and just give it a very light poof, poof, like that. And you just kind of get it out. Because if you don't do that and then you wipe it with your hands, you'll find you just get black bags under your eyes. Okay. So, or another technique, you can put white translucent powder underneath your eyes, which is what, you know, I can tend to do professionally, or what drag queens do. I think it's called baking under your eyes. Okay, so it's not about getting it perfect. See how that is just underneath? You can see the water. Oh gosh, I can't even think of the wording, but anyway, it's just underneath the socket. That's it. Okay, so here's your thicker brush. Now you are literally going right on the top, just grabbing that edge there and blending. So, and then you grab a little bit halfway and then blend. Okay. All right, I clearly need more. All right, so the whole point of this is that we are just going to be layering and layering. It's not about getting a perfect. If we're wanting it to go out like that, don't worry about that right now. Just get it right on your eyelid, right on your eyelid. Okay, so the dark piece, darkest. I mean, you will probably put this on if you're not used to doing this. You'll look at it and go, oh my God, I would never, this is way too dark for me. I'm not going to wear this. I'm mutton dressed up as lamb. La-da-la-da-la-da. Just don't worry about it. Just trust the process. Okay. So, I mean, I would never wear this dark. But you'll be surprised on how this transforms. So, again, just the outside. Just blend slightly. Okay? Just blend it slightly. And I tend to kind of go a little bit in the top corner. So what this is doing, it's just softening the edges, all right? And why isn't it blending properly? Yep, I know why. I'll tell you why, people. It's because usually I start off with a base, and I didn't do a base today. But this is just showing you that it's not about getting it perfect. It's just about going for it. I'll do this technique a few times, and so base, usually I'll start off with a neutral color, the most neutral color to the skin. I'll put it on first, and then I'll do the black. And that is so, it just starts to smooth out a little bit easier. Okay, so now I've done the dark shade. Now the next thing is that you get the next shade, which is the less darker than the previous one, but another dark shade. So I would say for me, that's this one. Any shimmery ones, I usually leave until the end. So that, just keep that in mind. So we're looking at more matte colors at this stage. So we get that color. Again, just press, see how I got that fallout there? Yeah, so try and avoid that, but I'll show you how it can just get puffed away, poof, poof, poof. Seriously, it didn't puff away properly. I think these tutorials are going to be about things that go wrong during your makeup, and me as a reminder to say, don't freak out. This happens all the time. And just because we're not a professional, or you're not a professional, you know, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, like things don't work. Because I think that's the biggest thing that I see is when something goes what we might think wrong, and there's just this freak out moment, everything stops and it's just like, oh no, 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 I've messed it up and I've got to start again. No. It's just, you keep going. Because the great thing about makeup, it just, yeah, you can just keep fixing it. All right, so you get that brush again and you just smooth the edges in the crease. You're just smoothing it in that crease. See? Now you're looking at it going, oh my God, that is incredibly dark. What is she doing? I don't really want this smoky eye. Okay, now we are going to go, well, I'm going to go, now I'm going to go to the shimmer. So don't be afraid to just go for all the colors. Whatever color you've drawn to, that's the color. So I'm drawn to this red. I'm just going for it. So dabbing it on. Look at all that fallout. Okay. Yeah, I find the glittery you can get so much more fallout. Let's see, I'll do it on this. See if that stops it. And see how the shade is just starting to lighten and soften the darkness. It's bringing depth. See, look at the difference that makes. Look at the fallout there. None on this side. All right, let's see what that does. Yeah, see, can you see how it can just get caught up in there? That's okay. We can just get a eye makeup remover and go underneath that. Some makeup artists, if you're doing this darker shade, some makeup artists like to do the eyes first and then apply your face makeup. And that makes sense to why you'd want to do that. So you're really getting rid of all that fallout and things like that. This is just the easiest way to do, I think, a smoky eye. We just get so afraid to just trying new things and, you know, doing these sorts of techniques because it just seems so difficult. And I mean, because makeup is like artistry, so there's so many different techniques and styles and people can just go all out. Okay, so that's still looking quite dark. In here, actually looks, in this mirror over there, looks actually quite sexy. But here, it's like, I've got two big black eyes. That's fine. You know, you find that when you go in one mirror and you're like, oh yeah, that looks all right. And then you go in another mirror and you're like, whoa, what happened there? Okay, so now I'm just getting drawn to actually these two shades. So I'm actually going to mix them. So you just mix them. So you kind of imagine like you're in space and then you're going into these galaxies and it's changing. Anyway, that's where I like to go with it. Just keeps it fun. So really this is like celestial makeup. So to me the glitter is like stars. Hey look, not everybody is into the shimmers. And that is totally fine. If you're not into the shimmers, then you can just keep layering with, you know, you put a lighter color on, put a darker on. But what the shimmer does with the smoky eye, I find it can just break up the darkness. Well, after all, this is space eyes. What's space without the stars, you know? Alright. The thing with makeup too, I find that don't get so fixated on it, because the more we get fixated on it, the more we look at it and we just start to find all these errors. Don't worry about all of that. It's like sometimes you just need to take a step away and just breathe. Okay, so I've just got this plum color because I really love this color, and I'm just got a skinnier brush and just bringing it underneath my eyes. Now there's all different ways that people like to do their smoky eye. Now I'm just going to bring this darker shade as well, mix them together. And the reason I like to mix the colours together, it just tends to soften the colour. Okay. Now this technique I did in a little group with 50+ women, and we are tend to told that we can't do dark shades and, you know, that sort of thing once we reach past 40. Like, we don't want to have that mutton dressed as lamb, or don't know, the silly things that we're told. But when we did this technique, oh my god, the women were hot, sexy, and sexy in a non-slutty way, just sexy, just sexy women. Their eyes were popping. There was just a, I don't know. All right, so I'm just trying to get all that fallout. See how it's just falling out? Okay. Now I can keep lightening that, you know, if I wanted to, but I actually really like that. But just for tutorial sake, if you're finding it's too dark, just get your more neutral shade and just go to the top, just to soften it. Yeah. All right. You'll find each step is different every time. And so what you would do next is just your mascara. And a lot of the time you'll find that if your makeup looks too much, just allow the process to unfold and just put your mascara on, because usually the mascara takes the color away, and so does the sun, so does photos, so it always chops the color in half as well. And don't worry about what other people think. See, I told you, these are the tutorials. These are going to be the tutorials that are not about perfection, showing you what to do when things go wrong. Okay, I think these are just going to write themselves. And by the way, these are just going to be one-off tutorials. I'm not going to be doing things to try and perfect them or anything, because it's just not realistic in my life. I've got 2 children, 20-month-old, work, study, you name it. So when I'm doing these tutorials, I'm literally doing it and getting on with my day. So see how I haven't even bothered about touching that mascara yet? Because the one thing that we tend to do when we do a blotch is like, oh no, I've got to get it off. And then you do get it off and then you smear. So the trick is just let it be and just let it dry. Now, can you see after I'm putting that mascara on, it's just, everything's just starting to soften, because it just starts to all kind of hide behind the mascara. So sometimes you just don't freak out if it looks a bit too dark, because it also just starts to settle into your skin as well. But all you simply connect to is the colours. Just the colours you love, just apply. Don't worry about what's on trend, what's supposed to look good with your eye colour or any of that. Just the colours you love. Okay, so I'm just going to see if that's dry. No, see, it's not dry. I might even have to wait until, yeah, it's just not dry. All right, so just to give myself a little bit of colour, I like to put on a little bit of blush. I like to bring the rouge just on my front of my cheeks. And look, a lot of people say when you're older, if you want your cheekbones looking like higher, put them up here. But honestly, anytime I put rouge up there, I just don't feel like me. To be honest, I feel like an idiot. Because if I'm puffed and I'm, you know, running around the place and I get rosy cheeks, I don't get rosy cheeks up here. I get rosy cheeks here. That's just where I get the rosy cheeks. So it just doesn't make sense to me to put it up there. Right. Yeah, I've always loved rouge here, but apparently this is becoming on trend now. Like you got that 60s vibe coming in now, that 60s makeup, which I love. Okay, so I didn't even bring any, see how I'm just taking it off now. Yeah, it kind of just comes off. Okay, I just like to get a light brown, use my pointy brush, just fill in my brows. I actually just got henna the other day, so they're pretty good. They don't really need colour, but it just tends to finish it off, as you can see, especially in front of the camera. But I do feel a little bit more complete once I've filled in my brows. Not for everyone, it just seems to pop the eyes. See, I just pop the eyes a little bit more. Lovely, lovely. Okay, and I've already got my lipstick on, already got the face makeup on, zhuzh up the hair, and that is the easy smoky eye. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.